With a WWE Hall of Famer being discussed in AEW and more, this is Wrestling Rambles. My name is John, and you're watching the Wrestling Report. Before we move on, make sure you subscribe to Wrestling Rambles with notifications on, and don't forget to like the video. Touching on the new deal WWE has worked out with Ken Shamrock, Booker T said this on his Hall of Fame podcast. That's great, Ken Shamrock got a legend deal because he is truly one of the WWE legends. He brought something to WWE from the mixed martial arts world, and it was real, and Ken did a damn good job while he was a part of WWE, and for him to be on the video games and all of that stuff, it's cool. Put his name in for the Hall of Fame, put his name in. He's always been a big WWE fan. You've never heard him say anything stupid about the company other than, man, why am I not getting in? Why am I not getting a piece of the action? I appreciate whoever gave Ken Shamrock the nod to get in deserves it. He deserves it. Some people deserve it, some people deserve it, and some people never deserve to get in. Offering his services to NXT, Mick Foley told WWE's The Bump, "I got a good eye for talent. Yeah, I'm only a phone call away if Shawn Michaels needs a little help." Speaking about the feud between Seth Rollins and CM Punk, former WWE star Matt Morgan told the Gigantic Pop podcast, with respect to Seth, because Seth is a better worker than Punk in the ring, that doesn't give him 20 years from now, he will not have a bigger name in this business with respect than CM Punk will. I'm sorry. He can win 50 more championships. He will not have a bigger name than CM Punk. And I hate saying that because I love him and I love his wife Becky, both personally. I think the world, but sorry, not in a million years will he have a bigger impact on this business than CM Punk. Without CM Punk, Seth Rollins, you ain't wrestling right now. Brother, I hate to break that news to you. Guys like you weren't even a blip on Vince McMahon's ass. Yes, you're taller than the rest of the good workers and in-ring 5-star generals, but at the same time, it's still, like I said, being the world's tallest short person according to Vince McMahon, because Vince likes big jacked guys. And I'm sorry to say, and maybe Seth doesn't want to hear this, Punk is the one that broke that damn wall down. People need to give him respect for it. All your favorite indie talents are in the WWE today because of CM Punk. With Trick Williams previously being attacked on NXT, Grayson Waller would return to accuse Carmelo Hayes of doing this. Here's the clip.
Hey, look towards the camera here.
Here it is. Yeah, here it is. What's good, man? Nice shirt, bro.
Thank you, man. I gotta say, I'm proud of you, man. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, big win on Saturday. That's what we're talking about,
I'm talking about Tiger King, lad. I'm talking about the fact that you attacked your best friend, man. That's so what? I don't think even Grayson Waller would do that. And I've done some mean things, lad.
You doing it for the camera? Is that why you're doing this?
Hey, chill, man. Like, we can do this Friday.
Yeah.
I can pay big money to fight now. I ain't gonna do it here, but...
Pay big money, but you spend your time coming down here to mess with me. What's up with that?
Okay.
You wanna wait till Friday?
Hey, relax.
No, I'm relaxed, bro. I'm chilling, but I'm doing my thing, and you come in and interrupt me during my thing.
Yeah,
I don't come interrupt you during your thing.
I know, man. I know. I just wanted to talk about some statistics. You love statistics, right? You know, you always talk about all your main events, all your championships, all the bangers you've had. But I thought I'd remind you about one statistic you haven't thought about. And that's, with a broken leg, I still got drafted before you.
All right. Yeah.
Swish.
All right. Yeah, get your guy out of here.
See
You got one. Oh, you got me. You got me. What the hell is that all about, man? Come on. Go with him.
Dave Meltzer said this on Wrestling Observer Radio regarding the potential identity of the attacker. I think everyone knows now that it's going to be Hayes that attacked Trick. Somehow we're going to find that out real soon. Trick totally forgave Hayes, which was one of the big stories, and Lexus King said it wasn't me, and Trick is acting weird, including at the very end, he's like behind him. I think everyone expected to attack him, but it just went off the air without attacking him. I thought the finish of the men's match that Trick had the match won and Carmelo would screw him and someone else would win. I think Carmelo screws him in the title match. Makes more sense that way because the whole thing started when Carmelo lost the title with that buckshot thing, which wasn't Trick's fault, but he lost the title in the first place. On X, WrestleOps said Seth Rollins and CM Punk's promo segment from this week's Raw did not have a producer listed. Former head writer for WWE Brian Gewirtz responded, "This is so stupid. When there's no physicality, there's no producer assigned to segment. Been that way forever. Doesn't mean there's not a writer working with talent. The bigger question, why is anyone within the company sharing scripts and rundowns with anyone outside the company?" Asked what he would be doing next year, Santos Escobar said this on the Wrestling with Freddie podcast. "I think it's important to master your instrument of what we do. Specifically, you have to be good at cutting promos. Why? It's important to share whatever the storyline and whatever you're feeling with the audience so they can relate or not, but more importantly, understand, which is why I did what I did in LA. Go to Hollywood, train my acting, become better at it. Of course, I do not have the pen and I do not write the storyline, but what I can do and what I've been trying to do and what I will keep on doing is get myself better, keep learning, keep growing, keep becoming a better instrument so that when they write these things, I'm there. I haven't missed one important show in the year, and this is my first year in the main roster. I'm thankful. I hope that I get more, but I'm already doing a lot of stuff that I wasn't doing 6 months ago. They're giving me a lot of freedom, and all of this effort that I'm putting into it, it's paying off, and I'm just glad it's happening. Right now, the storyline is what it is, and I love it, and I have the opportunity to show more of what I got, and hopefully we'll get to WrestleMania. Giving an update on the recent legal troubles for the son of Hulk Hogan, Ringside News wrote, "Nick Hogan was arrested for DUI in November, and that was not how he wanted to cap off his 2023. Now we have a bit of a legal update because Hulk Hogan's son has a date in court." According to court records, Nick Hogan, the son of Hulk Hogan, is set to be arraigned for his misdemeanor DUI charge on Monday, December 18th at 9 a.m. We previously reported that Hulk Hogan's son, Nick Hogan, participated in a bikini contest event at his father's restaurant, Hogan's Hangout, shortly before facing a DUI arrest in Clearwater, Florida. The 33-year-old was working behind a DJ booth playing music and announcing the winners of the bikini contest. During the event, Nick Hogan served as the MC and DJ, while his father, WWE legend Hulk Hogan, acted as a judge for the contest. Despite the enjoyable time, Nick Hogan later made the unfortunate decision to drive. Hulk Hogan also declared that the restaurant was offering complimentary shots, although it remains unclear whether Nick consumed any of the provided free alcohol from Hogan's Hangout. Unfortunately, this contributed to Nick Hogan's ill-advised choice to drive after drinking. Subsequently, Nick Hogan was pulled over and arrested for DUI after failing a field sobriety test. Clearwater police took him into custody shortly after 1 a.m. on Saturday morning. In a video, former WWE star Alberto Del Rio can be seen making his entrance in a high school gym where there are hardly any people in attendance. Mentioning what CM Punk has been up to recently, it was reported that CM Punk is back at the WWE Performance Center today, training and holding court with NXT talents, PWInsider.com has learned. There was a massive, genuine excitement at the PC yesterday when Punk surprised everyone by showing up and spending the day with talents. Going over how WWE should be using CM Punk, Bully Ray noted on Busted Open Radio, "I think they should be very careful. I think they should treat Punk like a mini version of Roman Reigns when it comes to his matches right now, because that match against Seth Rollins will mean that much more if we only get a few Punk matches along the way. They might have to throw somebody in Punk's way before Rollins." As her husband CM Punk is now back with the company, this was said regarding a return to WWE for AJ Lee, as Sean Ross Sapp said on Fightful Select's Backstage podcast. "It has significantly improved from what it was prior. She has shown willingness to participate in some wrestling stuff, as she was the face and sort of living mascot for the WOW Women of Wrestling company. They wanted her because they wanted people to go, oh, AJ Lee is on this show in some capacity. She did it, she made some good money doing it, and she was well liked there from what I understood. There are a whole lot of women in WWE who would love to wrestle AJ Lee, be on screen with AJ Lee, so I know it's something that several women there would be open to." mentioning how he would like a shot at the undisputed WWE Universal Champion Roman Reigns. Baron Corbin told Not Sam Wrestling, "Your boy was getting cheered." Such a weird world we live in right now where Baron Corbin gets cheered. Love it right now. Just because it's going against what's supposed to be happening. Sometimes I want that anarchy, that mayhem, that madness. You know what? If people start loving what I do and really get behind it, I could be the guy to go against Roman Reigns because he needs a guy like that. It'd be a fun switch. The last time I worked with Roman, I was pouring dog food on him. Not a fun time for him. I also almost vomited with the dog food, but it would be a flip. He's killing it right now, but if people get behind me, it would almost feel, and here's why I like it, it's fresh. It feels new. When they're behind me, it's like, dude, it's not the same person you saw. When we were doing the bum-ass Corbin, sad Corbin, they were starting to turn and feel bad for me, but now it's like they're excited for me. We saw AEW World Champion MJF at a red carpet event promoting the film The Iron Claw, which is about the Von Erich family, and he was even able to get a picture with John Cena. Now, a video shows him interacting with WWE star Liv Morgan, as CJ Perry posted the clip on X.
Knocking around.
You guys look really cute.
Thank you so much.
Thanks.
I appreciate it.
I'm just here to support him.
I'm just here to start more dating rumors again. And that's about it. So, enjoy.
In other photos posted by Morgan, MJF can also be seen with WWE star Baron Corbin. Previously, it was reported that former Impact Knockouts champion Deonna Purrazzo would explore free agency after her current contract expires at the beginning of next year. Sean Ross Appa Fightful added that, to the best of my knowledge, she has the ability to talk to AEW or WWE. I don't know if she has. I believe that Impact intends to make an offer. If I were AEW or WWE, both, I would try to sign Deonna Purrazzo. Speaking of Impact Wrestling, this was said about New Japan star and former IWGP Heavyweight Champion Kazuchika Okada coming back to the promotion. As it was noted on Fightful Select's Backstage podcast, this is so far removed that the TNA Okada was a part of, and Okada really grew to have a disdain over. And that's kind of what led New Japan and now TNA to work together again, was that this isn't the same regime that screwed over New Japan and switched titles without their knowledge or approval and screwed over some of their wrestlers. Going over his top 4 tag teams in pro wrestling history, The Undertaker said on his 6 Feet Under podcast, "I'm going to start out my Mount Rushmore of tag teams with 2 of the most important members of the 4 Horsemen, Tully Blanchard and Arn Anderson. I think they are the epitome of heel tag teams. They were just, they worked in unison together. My goodness, they had it all. They had the promos, they had the in-ring work, they were vicious when they had to be, they were chicken when they needed to be. Whatever it took to hang on to the belts, man, that's what those guys did. They were the classic heel tag team. That's tag team wrestling 101. Coming in at number 3, I'm going to go with the Midnight Express with Jim Cornette as their manager. Again, another just amazing heel squad. You can't have a good babyface without great heels, and Bobby Eaton and Stan Lane were phenomenal. And then you throw Jim Cornette in there, that guy you knew at some point was going to get involved and turn the tide somehow in favor of his team. He always had the tennis racket. I put Jim Cornette on my Mount Rushmore of managers, so I guess his team made it too. The Midnight Express. Just classic tag team wrestling. I don't think you have the Midnight Express without my number 2, the Rock and Roll Express. The feuds that these guys had were just, they went on for years and they were always so entertaining. The heat was palpable that you could feel it between the Rock and Roll and the Midnight Express. Ricky Morton and Robert Gibson, man, was there a better selling babyface than Ricky Morton? I tell you what, it was just fun to watch those guys sell and get that hot tag and just absolutely blow the roof off of a building. And they put a lot of asses in seats. Those 2 teams together, they were magic together. My number 1, there's no pop like a Road Warrior pop. The Legion of Doom, the one tag team that could sell an arena out by just putting their name on the card. Within the business, when you go out and you got a great pop, people would come back and say, man, that was a Road Warrior pop, because there was nothing like the pop of an arena when the Road Warrior music started. Those guys were mythical, almost with the mystique and the look and the spikes and the paint, and just 2 big jacked up dudes from Chicago laying waste to everyone. The Road Warriors drew huge money. As former members of the Sanity stable, Eric Young, Alexander Wolf, and Killian Dane recently appeared together at a pro wrestling event, this was said regarding WWE having the ability to re-sign these previously released stars. As Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful noted, yes, as best I know, I could be wrong, but they're all able to be signed. Today, a video of Randy Orton asking for and smoking a cigarette outside of an arena with fans from 14 years ago has resurfaced. Here's the clip. For details on the AEW deal of Andrade El Idolo, Sean Ross Sapp said this during a Q&A behind Fightful's paywall. The claim was 2024, but there was likely to be injury time added. I don't know if that is still the case. I think that might be adjusted. While Bryan Danielson is a part of the AEW disciplinary committee and is apparently finding talent for their post about the promotion on social media, this was said regarding a rumor going around, as Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said, despite non-reputable sources speculating that Saraya and Santana were the parties fined by Bryan Danielson under the social media policy, we're told neither of those are true. This was also said when it came to the reaction in AEW over Danielson issuing fines. Absolutely none internally. There are some who hadn't heard of the policy or the finding stuff being implemented who hadn't been on TV recently, so they were like, hey, what's going on with this? I hadn't heard of that. Twitter overreacts to everything. Twitter, Facebook, and social media, they overreact to everything. They love to pretend that they're mad about everything. Nobody's mad about this internally at all. Revealing what CM Punk said to him after he left WWE, Mick Foley told WWE's The Bump, I remember getting a text from Punk when he left after the Rumble in 2014. He was upset, and he and I were pretty close back then. He said, I've realized the only way to really make it there, to earn your respect, is to go somewhere else and then come back. He did. It was what, 9 years ago? 10 years next month. He's bigger than ever. No denial of his talent and that he is going to raise people. People are going to want to not only hang with him, but whether they realize it or not, impress him. And that's how levels get raised. When it comes to CM Punk wanting to take the role of Senior Vice President of Talent Development Creative, Shawn Michaels, who oversees NXT, Fightful noted that Ibu of Wrestle Purist has a good connection with sources close to Punk and says that Punk's long-term goal is to succeed the 58-year-old Michaels in heading up NXT. WWE officials tell Fightful that something like that would be a long way off, and there are no plans as of now for Michaels to wrap up his run in NXT anytime soon. Ibu also noted that Punk would be observing TV production, something that he was known to do in OVW and would often bend Paul Heyman's ear about. Talking about a WWE Hall of Famer, Beth Phoenix, being discussed in AEW, Sean Ross Sapp of Fightful said, I know it's been brought up by people backstage, but I don't know if it's a possibility. Mike Johnson of PW Insider said this about Phoenix not having appeared for WWE in a while, and if it has something to do with AEW or potentially her husband, Adam Copeland, being there. No, I don't think there's a connection there. There were lots of periods where she was off TV and then returned. I would think that when they have a storyline or an angle or a broadcast assignment for her, she'll be back. And this was your Pro Wrestling News Update. I hope you're all having a great day. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see y'all later.